Brazil now, and police in Brazil have launched an operation. They launched it on Monday to tear out barricades which were set up by drug trafficking gangs to trying to prevent police access in the favelas of Rio de Janeiro. The Rio de Janeiro local government said that the operation would be carried out daily until the end of the governor's term. It said 200 tons of obstacles were removed across 5 communities on the first day alone. Well, this, of course, just weeks after a massive police raid targeted a drug trafficking gang in 2 of the city's favelas. Police say at least 121 people were killed in the operation, they say, including as well 4 police officers. But human rights organisations have called for investigations into the deaths. They say the operation was one of the most violent in Brazil's recent history. Well, we're now joined on the line by Jan Onoszko, who is in Rio de Janeiro, our correspondent there. Jan, what are these barricades for? Can you explain to us what's going on?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, this operation to remove the barricades is an operation to basically try and limit the power of drug gangs in favelas. These barricades are put up by the drug gangs, as you say, in order to slow down the actions by the police when they enter these neighborhoods. You'll see them very clearly at these entrance roads into and out of favelas. And they're to try and stop the police actions in operations which are part of the so-called war on drugs, like the one that you just mentioned that occurred at the end of last month in Rio in 2 big favelas here, and ended up in the massacre of 121 people, 4 of whom were police officers. Now, in total, it's estimated that there are more than 13,600 barricades across the state of Rio, and the state government has started removing them from 5 cities in the state. To do so, they've organized 50 teams using high-performance diggers and drills, and since the start of the operation, as you said, 200 tons removed yesterday, but that amount is now up to 600 tons of rubble, iron and concrete that have been removed from these barricades. It's being carried out in conjunction with local councils, but it's also meeting with resistance from the drug gangs who've been setting fire to the barricades in the City of God, which is one of the first favelas to be targeted. And so far, 5 people have been arrested. In a separate operation as well, a local politician from the Liberal Party, which is the party of Jair Bolsonaro, and also Rio's state governor, Claudio Castro, has also been arrested. Anani Aleixo is accused of giving logistical support to a drug faction called the TCP to help them put up barricades in a city called São João de Meriti, just outside Rio. Now, Claudio Castro, the controversial far-right governor of the state of Rio de Janeiro, has said he's going to continue removing these barricades from favelas every single day until his term ends at the end of next year. So if he actually sticks to his pledge, then this is going to be a very lengthy and a very costly operation.
There seems to be, as you say, quite a bit of resistance to this. Do you think it's going to work? How successful is it likely to be?
It's really difficult to know how successful it's going to be, and it's also difficult to understand what the real purpose behind the removal of these barricades is, because Castro says it's so that residents can come and go freely. But is it also so that the police can carry out another operation like the one they carried out last month? They can enter these favelas swiftly and get the people, or sometimes kill those people that they say that they're targeting. It's possible. The governor has already said that he intends to carry out another one of these operations before the end of the year. And in fact, he's named the favelas where he wants to target the drug gangs. But the fact is that just as quickly as these barricades are put up, they can be put down, rather, taken away. They can be put back up by the drug gangs. And to prevent this, the municipalities around Rio State are being tasked with monitoring them. They've also set up a special hotline so that residents can call anonymously if they see barricades being put back up. But to be honest, they are removed, they're put back up very swiftly. It's difficult to see just how effective it's going to be. And for residents associations and also civil society organizations, they have criticized this state's actions, saying that this money would be better spent providing the services and infrastructure that favelas desperately need, rather than helping local communities. These deadly police operations like the one that happened last month end up really costing people's lives, and also not just costing people's lives, but closing schools, closing health centers. It means that vital surgeries and appointments have to be cancelled. It also means that children end up missing out on days of schooling across the whole year. And it also means that these favelas end up being demonized by the state. So residents are saying that if the state really wanted to end drugs and arms trafficking in favelas, there are far more effective and less deadly ways of doing that, rather than terrorizing whole communities. As for the removal of the barricades, while it looks like it is a good idea potentially for residents, it's far from being a priority for them.
OK, well, we'll leave it there. Thanks very much. Jan, for that in Rio de Janeiro.